Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ryan Ascension. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about, and man, these are exciting times to be alive. The most exciting time to be alive in human history. It's only going to keep getting better and better and better. But I'm going to talk about Jesus Christ, and it's something that I've been wanting to talk about for some time now. I've been fortunate enough and blessed enough to have the opportunity to have spoken directly with Jesus through a channeling session with a legit channeler. There are frauds, just like with anything else, and then there are legit channelers. And I'm very appreciative to have this opportunity. So we received some homework from Jesus Christ, and I want to let you know about it. I want to talk a little bit about it. And I actually wrote down almost everything that he had to say, and just so we have an understanding, okay? And I also want to take this video as an opportunity to get you to think a little bit outside of the box and question some things, okay? The first thing I want you to think about, well, before I jump into that, just know Jesus Christ is real, okay? Jesus Christ did live on the earth plane. He never left. His energy is alive and well and is available for anybody to tap into or to receive help or grow into, ascend into Christ consciousness. He talked a lot about God is within you, and some of his teachings were completely distorted intentionally. Back in the day, churches were established as a control mechanism over the population, and they removed a lot and misinterpreted a lot of Jesus's teachings. So I wanted to get you to think here just for a second before I jump into his homework that he's given us. I want you to think about this for a minute, okay? Jesus identifies as a divine being of love. He is in actuality the representation of what love is, what love looks like. With that said, and going back to reading the Bible, what God would claim to be of all loving, okay, an all-loving being, and then write a book of rules for you to follow. And that in itself right there just doesn't make any sense. It's not in alignment with Jesus Christ. It's not in alignment with what is, okay? So another thing is, you read the Bible and you read about Adam and Eve. Now, if that were true, okay, if Adam and Eve were true, then with an understanding of population established from Adam and Eve, that would mean incest. That would mean brother. Adam and Eve would have children, and then brother would have to be with sister, which we all know would result in mental retardism, would result in all kinds of abnormalities and death in many cases, and that's what happens with incest. So just trying to get you to think for a moment. I'm not implying in any way to believe everything that I'm saying. I'm just saying we have had direct communication with Jesus Christ, and I want to get the message out to you. Again, he states he's a being or a divine being of love, okay? Another thing is, he didn't say this, but I know this to be true. He, as a human being, was not to be worshipped, all right? His teachings were to be worshipped, not him as a divine being, okay? So that's something I want to make sure that we all understand and really get that out there. I know that can be really confusing, but he was talking a lot about the heavenly energies of love that are coming in, and I think we've all felt this on many levels. Sleep disturbances, you might need more sleep than you need from day to day. You might not be able to sleep at all. These are all common. Nervous twitching, let's see, racing thoughts, and these are all ascension symptoms that are happening because of these divine energies of love that are coming into the earth plane in mass for the first time, available for anyone who wants it to ascend into Christ consciousness. It's real. The second coming of Christ, we often think about, a man with a beard coming back and so on and so forth. How do you know it's a man? How do you know that energy, what if it was a woman? So I'm just trying to get you to think a little bit about this, okay? In actuality, the second coming of Christ is Christ consciousness in mass. Again, we all have the opportunity for the first time on the earth plane to tap into this consciousness, to ascend to Jesus Christ, his level and beyond, okay? That's why in the Bible he talked a little bit about, you can do it. I don't know the exact terminology, but he said, you can do it too, and even more so than me. And that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the human ascension process that is occurring in mass on a global scale at the present moment. It is really, really awesome. So the homework is, for us, he's asking us to examine the conditions we put on love, okay? He wants us to literally write out about each and every one of our relationships and examine them, and examine the conditions that we put on all of our relationships, okay? Family, friends, lovers, whatever it is. Examine those relationships. Examine if something were to be removed, for example, from that, like something you're in a relationship with someone and that were to be taken away, something that you're enjoying with that person, would you still love that person? And this is kind of the purpose of it, to get that out there, to understand that, love is completely unconditional. There isn't any conditions that are on love, okay? So what allows these conditional relationships to continue? Again, examine each and every one of your relationships with everybody, from your boss to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, to your mother, to your father, your children. Examine each and every one of them and write them out in detail. So step outside. He asked us to step outside the I am only lovable if, okay, mentality. So you want to try to approach things from a whole different angle and have the understanding that you two are awesome and important and unique and special, and you can ascend just like Jesus did into Christ consciousness. And each and every one of you are completely lovable beings, okay? So he asked us to examine that. And he talks about when you put conditions on something or somebody else, okay, you are setting the conditions of what you can receive. So if you're saying, I'll only associate with this person if, then you are literally setting the guideline on what you are enabling and putting out to the universe and putting out to God that you can receive, okay? So you shouldn't put any conditions on anything, all right? It's important to do that when it comes to relationships in general. You don't have any expectations of the other person, and it is what it is, and that is true love. So he said the love on the planet is ours if we want it. So again, back to the energies that are coming. I know that can be kind of confusing, and again, back to the Ascension symptoms. Ascension symptoms are pretty wild. Dizziness, headache, like I said, twitching. You've got extreme tiredness at times, ringing in the ears, and the list goes on and on and on. You might start craving different food. You might require meat if you have a strong urge to eat meat if you've been on a plant-based diet. That's happened to me recently. So just be understanding of that. He wanted to let us know that more love energies are coming within the next 90 days. And this conversation took place about 60 days ago, roughly. So the next 30 days, there's more and more of this energy that's actually pouring in, and it's divine energy that's on the earth plane at this time, and it's going to keep getting more and more intense. We're going to continue, those of us on our spiritual path will continue to grow and grow and grow into the beings that we were intended to be. Okay, so he said more opportunities to accept what is rightfully ours. So with that said, if we have an understanding that we can literally manifest anything that we desire, anything that we truly want, an important aspect of that is to ask yourself, why do you want it? Why is it important to you? And break that down further and say, why is what I want important to me? Once you have an understanding of that, break it down. Why? Ask yourself the why to the why. Okay, so I know that's kind of deep, but that's how you get at the core of understanding yourself in many ways and why you want things in life. Okay, and how to figure out what you actually need and what is truly important to you. Jesus is talking about Jesus and other spirits are all around us right now. It is a constant, ongoing interaction with other beings. We are never alone. The human being can only see 3% of physicality. Okay, with that said, that's very limited. That means 97. We can't see with our eyes 97% of what is going on around us, but oftentimes we can feel other energies and so on and so forth. So Jesus wants to communicate with us more, with each and every one of us who are receptive and willing. He's not going to force things on you. He's not going to tell you it's a rule. He's not going to tell you you're going to burn in hell. That's the biggest bunch of BS in the world. Well, again, what loving God is going, even if there's someone's doing some terrible things, what loving God would say, if you do that, then you're going to burn, your soul would allow, I should say, what loving God, think about that, would allow God's children for their souls to burn in eternity in flames. Just getting you to think a little bit. So he wants us to communicate more. The homework is for all of us to write down every relationship again that we're in and really pinpoint the conditions that we put on relationships. He also talked about this, and this was really, really deep and really opened me up personally to a whole nother thinking, a whole nother mindset regarding certain circumstances. And he said, I was surprised Jesus actually said this, but he wanted to get us to think about what love truly is. He said that if you are in a relationship with your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they go out, and I'm saying this is okay to do, but they go out on you and they cheat on you, and this is coming from Jesus, so it's pretty intense. And then you just say, I'm completely done with this person. Most people would say that when they found out. And he's trying to get us to think about how we're human and that we all make mistakes, and that true love will stick around. Now, he didn't go into detail on like frequency of it or anything like that, but he was just trying to open our minds and our hearts to that concept of somebody, and that's pretty intense, so that you would really have to genuinely love somebody and at their core and value the relationship so much so if someone were to make a mistake like that, and that's a big mistake to make no mistake about that, to accept them back into your life and console them and understand that it was just a mistake that was made. So again, super exciting time to be alive. Most exciting time to be alive in human history. You, each and every one of you, have the ability to reach out to the divine at any given moment. We are always surrounded by the divine. Jesus Christ is real. Again, I want to put an emphasis on this. A lot of his teachings are distorted. There's some truth to the Bible, but they removed the entire book of Enoch from the Bible, which the book of Enoch spoke about Jesus' interaction with extraterrestrials. Jesus' interaction with other beings, okay? Other spiritual beings. Jesus wants us to know that he is not, his divine love is not the be-all, end-all to our spiritual development and our spiritual connections. He's a very powerful being, but they're a very loving being, but there are many others, okay, in the divine realm that are similar to Jesus, and in some circumstances even more elevated through their ascension and the dimensions that they reside in, even more so than Jesus. And Jesus really truly was a living example of what an ascended master looks like, what an ascended being looks like. So as we each go through this amazing ascension process where our DNA or our bodies are literally changing on a cellular and a DNA level, that is huge. As we go through this evolution, this ascension process, just have that inner knowing that there are other beings. The higher you go with this, okay, and the more into it you get, sometimes just know, I hope this is helpful to you, there will be other negative energies. Some call it Satan, some call it demonic forces, some call it just low vibrational energies that will try to disrupt and distract you and take you back to bad habits, take you back to old patterns, take you out of the love frequency and back into the frequency of fear. They are extremely weak. I have dealt with them over and over again, and some advice that we received from some other beings regarding these entities is just ignore. They're actually that weak that you really don't have to give them any attention. You really don't have to give them any energy or any time, okay? Just ignore them. It is what it is. Keep working on your ascension. Jesus is here to help us with this process, as are many, many other infinite number of beings. The universe is expanding constantly. We are most certainly not alone. We have never been alone. Amazing times. Tap in, do your homework with Jesus, do your Jesus homework, and let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day. Bye-bye.